Today we are turning these cable spools into Patriotic coffee table and end table. Let's show you how we're doing it. So once you get the bolts out, pretty simple. Just simply pick out which side you prefer. And there's a lot of things you can do here, but we've already used this one prior to this for a wedding, but no big deal. We're going to sand it down and paint over it because we're making these into Patriotic tables. These are coffee tables, these are end tables. And then cut your boards, depending on how you want to make your legs. There's a lot of ways you can make your legs, but we'll show you kind of what we're doing here as we assemble these. So a 0% chance of rain, and it's raining, or it has been, and so it's forced us underneath the porch area here, but it's okay because we're putting the end tables together right now. And so this one is actually put together. We've not sanded, painted, or anything like that. You can see the legs, kind of how we built it. Now we could have made these a little bit more sophisticated, cutting angles and stuff, but we just want to keep it simple. We're going to paint these legs white and paint these tops, you know, like a flag. And so this is kind of what we've done. You decide how tall you want your table, and we just kind of come in a little bit, a few inches on each side. You could run it all the way to the outside so that the legs actually, you know, connect with the outside and it's flush, but we want it to be set back a little bit. So we're shooting for about a 2-foot table. That seems to be about standard for a side table, coffee table. And so we've got these longer pieces that come all the way across, and then we've cut the shorter pieces because we're gonna, you know, screw those in right there together. And then we've got our legs like this, and then the one that he's holding right there, and then we'll screw those in. And so very simple build. We're going to put these together, then we're going to get busy sanding and doing some things like that before we get it prepped up to paint. And our tables are the same way, the end tables, as the coffee table, same principle. These are a little shorter though, because coffee tables are typically a little shorter, at least around our area. So those are a little taller because they're at the end of the couch, whereas this is usually in the center of the room. And as far as centering the legs up, what we do is just measure on both sides to make sure we have the same measurement all the way around, and then screw it to the bottom of the table. So that's the bottom. He's going to flip it over, and that's our top. Let me show you how we're going to do the flag. Got this square, and to make it easy, we are going to be using this as our kind of our straight edge, you know, straight line to keep it square. And so get it lined up here, pick out the spot, you know, that you want to do it, and then we went ahead and marked it because we're going to paint over it. So now that that's done, and we have our straight line for our blue part with the stars, we're going to start painting stripes on here, starting with red up here. And obviously we're going to have to go red and let it dry, and then come back and do the white, or vice versa, whichever. But he's using the white, so I'm going to start with the red. So finishing up painting the flag on there. Now what we've decided to do, just to be safe, is put our square back on there. So it's kind of like coloring book, staying in the lines, make it easier. And once this dries up, we're going to put our stars on there. We're going more for the rustic look. We're sanding it down, and should be done. So we live in a small town where we only have a Dollar General, no Walmart, no Hobby Lobby, nothing like that. And so we have to get creative when we need things like stencils and things like that. So here's what we did. Cheap way to do it. We went out and found some stars. We put it over into a word processor, and we enlarged them, and then we printed them out. Cut out a few of them and kind of laid them out, kind of like what we think we'd like to have them. And printed off just a few of them, and we're laying them out just like so. You know, like the stars are positioned on the flag. And we are taking our small paintbrush and just dabbing some paint on it, and then holding it steady where we want it, and just simply going around it like this. Now we're going for a very rustic look, so we are not looking for perfection, but we do want them to look pretty good, because once we're done with this, we're going to sand sand it down a little bit to give it more of a rustic look. And so we're just going to outline this, and then we'll pull that off and then paint in the lines. Well, we finished sanding it down, made it look a little rough. You know, we're going for the rustic look. Pretty pleased with how it turned out. The stripes were easy to do. The stars was the most challenging thing, but we did it, right? And so we got like nothing in that, and it was pretty easy to trace out. They're not perfect, but that's not what we were shooting for. We were looking for a rustic look, and so maybe this might inspire your next project, whether it's a table or whatever. This was a lot of fun, easy to do, not very expensive to do either. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.